On this episode, we're going to be making a roasted parsnip tossed in a walnut and sage pesto. First, the most important thing is a good peeler. I go to so many homes and I see the little peelers that look like a sort of a small little knife with a dull blade. Invest in a great peeler. It's so worth it. These are great. They sort of have a horseshoe shape. This has a ceramic blade, but you can get one with a metal blade. They make life so much easier. Obviously, peel your parsnip. And then what we're going to do is we're going to blanch it in boiling salted water, which is going to soften the parsnip, which makes it a little better to roast. Because when you roast parsnips from raw, the edges tend to get a little bit too crispy. This way it makes them cook much more evenly. Once you have the parsnips peeled, we're going to give them a quick blanch. One of the most important things in blanching is a big pot of boiling water. And also to have an ice bath reserved to stop the cooking. So you want to season your boiling water with salt until it actually tastes like seawater. Chefs, we just sort of stick our finger in and give it a taste. You use a spoon, whatever, don't burn yourself. But the water actually wants to taste like salt water. So take your parsnips, put them in. This is going to take about 3 to 5 minutes. And take them out, plunge them right in the ice bath. So now we're going to make the sage and walnut pesto. First thing you want to do is just toast your walnuts in the oven at about 350 degrees for about 10 minutes until you actually smell, the oils coming out of them. And then pick your sage. Sage is extremely aromatic. It's sort of a fall seasonal herb. So just pick off. You don't really want any of the stems because it's a little more bitter. So just go through and pick your sage. And then the ideal piece of equipment would be a Cuisinart. If you have a Cuisinart, you can use a blender. So just take your walnuts, crumple them up a little bit, put them in the blender, and then take all your sage, put it in. I like to pulse pesto because I don't want to get too emulsified. So I just start sort of pulsing it together. It'll naturally come together. And then just add olive oil as you go. And what you're looking for is sort of a paste. I mean, most people know what pesto looks like. Just like that. You see the walnuts sort of in clumps, and the sage isn't too broken up. So we're just going to put it back on. Going to add a little bit of salt now, and a little more oil. Just get a little bit of season, a bit of a tablespoon of salt, and total olive oil. I'm going to use about a quarter cup of olive oil. All right, so it's been about 4 or 5 minutes. You just sort of the touch parsnips are just softened a little bit, and now we're just pull them out individually, plunge them into an ice bath, which stops the cooking. Otherwise, these things would just go right to mush. So after these parsnips come out of the water bath, all you want to do is just cut them right down the center. And what this will do is ensure even cooking. So after you've cut your parsnips in half, just get a little bit of vegetable oil, a little bit of salt, some fresh ground pepper, okay, and then just a touch of cream. What the cream does is it coats the parsnip and it'll help in the caramelization and the roasting process. What I'm going to do is I'm going to lay the bottom of this roasting dish down with some thyme, and then I'm just going to place the parsnips on top, just like that. And the oven's preheated to 425, and in about 45 minutes, perfectly roasted parsnips. The parsnips are just roasted beautifully. So just pull them out of the pan into a nice big bowl. If they're too hot, let them cool a little further. And you'll see they're nicely fragrant with the thyme. Some thyme pieces in there is fine. Don't want any stem. So now you take your pesto, plop it in, and then just give them a nice little toss. Don't stir them too much because they'll break apart. But just nicely toss them. So now, you take your parsnips, lay them down. You can really smell the sage and the walnuts, just gorgeous. The flavor in this is absolutely wonderful. Takes a little bit of time, but it's an easy preparation, and everybody will be wowed. So there you have it, roasted parsnips with a walnut sage pesto.